Okay, it's starting. Now if you see, now you can come here. I don't think what is this is for something else. Okay, not fine. So come here. How do you connect it to CLI? Right? That's what the discussion we did in last class. You can see configuring AWS CLI command line interface. And we had discussed all this. I think it's there in the recording as well. I'll just show you how to troubleshoot it. Suppose if you want to connect it to any this thing, S3 buckets. Okay, I'll show you how to do that now. So or how to configure your CLI first. Okay, so you can come here and just type this command. You don't need this AWS configure. Okay, so this is the command you should choose, and then you have to add that, right? We create that access key thing, and that comes in the form of Excel. You remember, right? Sorry. So this is the access key. What you can do, you can copy this and paste it here. I'll just do something error now, just to show you again what is the mistake we did in the last session. Okay, and similarly, secret access key. Just we need to copy these two from the Excel, and this is right, when this is created, when we create that access key under our this thing, okay, automatically under our S3 bucket, I believe, we get it. So let me just open that as well, just to have a quick view. Sorry, friends. I have a bit of sore throat. So S3, I think S3. Now you under S3, right? Where is that this thing? Mm, 1 minute. We have created. I am sorry. I have to go to IAM. Go to IAM. Under IAM, you have somewhere, right? This user groups. T1 user groups, I believe.
I believe it is under users.
Yeah, I'm going there. Yeah, under users. Okay. Nom user. Okay. Suppose if this guy, if this user want to have access to that CLI command line interface, then for that specific user, what is that we should do? We have to create, let me show you that security credentials. Okay. So under security credentials, you have access keys. Already we created for nom user one. Okay. So this is very clearly discussed in the last session. Okay. And if you want, you have to create, if you want another access key also, you can create it. It's up to you, but one is enough. That's okay. So this is where we have to create access key and you should download it. That's enough. Okay. So once you download, you can use it in the subsequent, keep it somewhere. Okay. So that you don't need to again every time open this CSV. So once these steps are clear, you got it right. So
Uh, yeah, 1 second. Manoram, from the user, under which one we got this access key? Can you a
okay,
little bit go
okay.
back?
I'll do one thing. I'll show you again from the beginning. Go to IAM. Go to
Yeah, I
users.
am users. Yeah,
Go to users. Here you have list of users and
correctly.
assume these as developers or employees, whoever joined this team or organization. Suppose if some user or developer want to have access with CLI, generally this access will be there when you are working in the real time. Okay.
Okay.
Click and click on that user. Okay. Under that user, you can see that, okay, you can see here security credentials. Okay.
Okay. So
1 minute, Harish, just
yeah, yeah,
give me a
sure,
minute.
sure.
Oh, sorry, Harish. I just need to.
Yeah.
Okay, you go to
yeah.
user and select on that user, and what you have to do? Just
Security
click on
credentials.
the security credentials, scroll down. You can see access keys. Here you don't need to do anything. Just say create access key and choose this and say next. And also just tick this checkbox and they say next. Okay, and just give some name to that if you want. This is optional again. You can see here. This is not mandatory. And say create access key. Automatically it creates access key and it gives you a downloadable option for CSV. Okay, that is there in the last recording. You can check that.
Yeah.
Harish.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
Part 2. Okay. AWS session 5 part 2 has that details. You can check that. That gives you a clear picture. And it's very simple too. It's not difficult. Even that is very simple. Now, if that is done, what you have to do? Open that CSV and it will have two keys here. If you want to set up AWS CLI command line interface, if you want to connect it to AWS from command line interface, then you have to set it up, and that is possible through this access keys. Is that clear? Is that clear, Harish?
Yes, sir.
So what you have to do now? Till this, did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Now what you have to do? Open command prompt. Generally, CLI means you directly connect from your local machine or local environment. If it is developed, I mean office, you have your office laptop. AWS definitely is managed by Amazon. And from your local laptop, either you connect from PowerShell or from this. For us, I am using command prompt. Maybe in real time, people connect from PowerShell. My guess is okay. So what you do, you have to come here and then choose the second password now. So you have to just start. If you want to start adding CLI to AWS or AWS to CLI, you should start configuring that AWS to this command line interface. How do you do that? You have to use this command AWS configure. When you just use this command, it will ask you for a couple of this thing here, couple of inputs. Okay, first one is access key ID that you can get from this CSV file. You can go to the CSV file and then you can get this access key ID. You can see here. And second, it is asking for AWS secret access key. That is what this is, secret access key. Okay, copy this and paste it here and enter. And region by default it is EU North. So which region you have to choose? You want to access, you want to connect it to S3 buckets, right? And you want to explore that S3, S3 storage. Then in such case, what you have to do? You can go and check in the AWS where your S3 buckets are created. Okay, S3, and you can see somewhere. Okay, right now it is showing this. Okay, but suppose what is the default location these were created, you can also check that. Right now the location it is showing as, you can see here, Mumbai. Understood? So that you have to pass. You can see this is the available zone, AP South 1. Understood now? So that you can pass here if you want. So what is that? AP South 1, South hyphen 1. Are you following now? So the third option is default region name, and you want to connect it to those S3 buckets. So what is that you should check? You should check where, in which location or in which availability zone these buckets are present. That is a simple process. Go to your Amazon website and then check, go to S3 and try to see where your buckets are created. And this is the availability zone, right? And then under that you can see here, this is the region. Under that, these are all availability zones. Right now, Mumbai has availability zone AP South 1. You got it right. So now what you have to do?
But Manoram, like 1 second, sorry. So we can give availability to nearby, but as per the buckets, it is US East 1, right? So we need to give the same for.
See, if it is US East 1, you pass it and you can
You
test
can
it.
pass.
You got it right. So no, you see these buckets, this S3 is available in this region that you have to pass. You don't worry about this US East, Europe, or all this stuff. You got it right?
Got it. Yeah, sure.
No problem. You can
Uh,
test it once.
so
Yeah.
that bucket location is by default, it is chosen, is it?
Yeah, this is by default. It is EU North one. We will test it. You don't need to worry about it. I'll show you how to triage it also. Okay.
No, my
No,
question
no.
is related to the Asia Pacific Mumbai, the S3 bucket, I mean the
Correct.
S3 storage
This
location.
is where S3 is located. But right now it is showing under this region. You got it right?
That's the default one, is it?
Should be. This should be default one because last time I see that it is in Europe, Stockholm. This might be changing, I believe, but it's okay. Let us test it. I'll show you how to handle this if it is changing dynamically. Okay.
So
Yes.
whatever the user bucket, we can select that region, but according to the user AWS account, I think what is the default region that we need to give here, correctly?
Correct.
Asia
Correct.
Pacific. Yeah.
Yeah. So let me test it and see so that I will also show you if that is not the default one, how to set the default one. You got it right? And how to view that default one as well. I'll show you all that so that next 10-15 minutes discussion give you a clear picture how to play around all this. So all your doubts and questions definitely will have answers. I'm very sure. Got it? So now just pass this and then JSON default. So to test this, if it is working as expected, if it is properly set, what you have to do, you have to use this and just say list. Once this is done, what you have to do, once you provide all these parameters or inputs, then that configuration is set. But to see or to validate this, if it is properly done or not, there are two options. First, you can just say AWS configure list. And definitely it is showing region, then we are good. Suppose in the last this thing, we did in the last class, it didn't work for me. There is an error. You can see, right? I put South one, somehow it didn't work. And later on I tried it. Let me show you that because you need to learn. You can see this. And when I say AWS configure list, you can see region, it is showing not set. Are you following? You can see here, region says not set. That's the problem. You get this, friends? And that's why I had problem in connecting to CLI. Understood? Command line interface. Did I make it very clear? What is my issue there last time? This is not set properly. But now if you look at that configure list, region is set, then I am good. And again, with this, I cannot stop. There is another one more step to validate if the configuration is set properly or not. What is that? Very simple. So you can use this now. Let me just take that. So all this is fine. So you take this command AWS STS get color. This thing is there, right? Color identity. And you can remove all this. Just only remove this. Yeah. Now this is the command to validate your CLI connection. Okay, just enter. Perfect. You can see here, it is showing account user ID, account and that ARN. So if it is showing this information, you have configured CLI properly with your AWS account. Are these steps clear for all of you, friends?
Sorry. Yeah, Manorama is clear, but I just not remembering. So you told that region not set, right? So where it is not set earlier, we got issue.
Yeah, that is in the last class.
Sorry. Yeah, I didn't remember.
Sir, could you please send that EU North one, then what will happen in command line?
Yeah, EU, if you send not EU North one, see, we can also try to reset it. We'll see, we'll test that also. So somebody is asking another cross question, not a problem. Okay, we can check on that as well. Is that okay?
Okay.
So it will try to what shall I say? It will try to reset that whatever that is default is there, it will reset, and yeah, we can check it, not a problem. Suppose again we do one thing. So Harish, okay, I'll come one by one. Okay, can I answer one by one? So I mean Harish
Yeah,
question.
sure,
Harish
sure.
has something. He's already there in the class last time. Harish,
Yeah.
Harish,
Yeah.
next time I will, I will ask you to go through recording. Okay, this time I am
Yeah,
explaining
sure,
back.
sure.
You
Sure.
are there in that class, right? So I put this
Yes.
how to do the triaging. Okay. What I did is I gave something. You can see because I put everything. I put AP South one last time. And when I said this, somehow what happened is that region is not set. You got it?
Yeah, yeah, I got it. Yeah.
So then what happened when I tried to connect it to CLI, when I tried to run this AWS S3-LS, you can see now, this will fetch data now. You can see, I can see all my buckets in S3. Yes, sir, now. All
Yes,
these
yes.
three buckets are there. But in last class, I got error. It didn't show these buckets. You got it? Why? Because, why? Now you have to answer my question.
The
This,
region not.
yeah, that is the problem. Understood now? I am giving you a triage process, how to fix such kind of issues. Okay. So did I answer your question?
Uh, yes. So yeah, I got it. But this region, right?
Mm.
We gone there and given the that particular region at UA, right?
Mm.
Uh, after that, you given this. Now it worked correctly.
No, I did test it at that time itself. So later on after the class, I just ran it again. It worked for
Ran it
me.
and okay, okay.
Yeah, yeah. So
It worked.
now I am configuring it just to show you guys. Okay, you can see here. This time the simple funda is just check where your S3 buckets in which region, and then choose that availability zone. That is the default availability zone, and then just you can run it automatically. It will be set. You can see here. You are getting the details right. This is how you need to do validation. Clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Seems like you can do one
yes,
thing, Harish. Stay back after class because otherwise we
yeah.
cannot move forward. Okay. This is
Oh
not,
yeah, sure, sure,
we
sure.
are not in
Yeah,
Q&A period right now.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So, but whatever you need, I answered your question. Okay. Next. Somebody asked a question. You do one thing. You suppose you want to try from something else also. What you can do? You can just take this too because these are common things, right? Suppose I want to test another location. Default is what? It is showing as south. Okay. What you can do? But you can override that. I'm very sure I tested that even. You can override location, not an issue. Okay. So now somebody is asking about EU North 1. Okay. You want something because earlier it is set to EU North 1. Okay. Enter. And then default format JSON enter. And then now you can just, yeah, apply list. And it is set to EU North now. Okay. So point is what is happening now? Somebody asked, I didn't see who asked this question. What is this thing here? I think if that guy has left, it has
Yes.
overridden that default location. So who asked that?
Me, sir, Sham.
Oh, Sham, you asked this question. Yeah.
Yeah, why? Because earlier we run same way, EU not at the time.
Yeah.
So
See,
at
that,
the time you are getting the error.
correct, correct. Now there is just think for, I mean, to override that. What is that? So now you choose EU North. So what happened now? It is set to EU North now. You can see here. Means we can override that default location, but let us test it. What is that we do? So once this
MES
is done,
STS get caller.
let us test it.
Uh,
Okay. So now I am validating it. Okay. And finally, let me run this AWS command. So that's okay. It's a typo. AWS S3L3. Okay. You can see it. It's working or not. So what is happening here? That default is being overridden. That's all. Understood now?
Yeah.
So that's the R&D here. I hope Harish, this should answer your doubt as well. Something is there in your mind still.
Yes, yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay. So Revati, you were saying something. Yeah.
Yeah, if you override, I mean, we knew that our S3 is located south, but when we override north, then we couldn't able to access those
It won't.
S3
No. That it's not like that. By default, it will be sitting in this. It doesn't mean that we cannot access from other availability zone. See, you know the concept of availability zone, right, Revati?
Yeah.
Availability zone is it talks about how near you are to that access location. That is availability zone. You understand?
Yeah,
Suppose if it is Mumbai near to me who stay sitting in Hyderabad, or is EU North one is near to me? That is a simple question.
Yes,
Which is
Mumbai
near?
is near. Yeah, Mumbai is
So
near.
that's why I choose this. Suppose I can change this. See, S3 is created in AWS and we can access S3 buckets from any of these availability zones.
Which means this all this
Suppose
regardless of region, this
let
I couldn't
let
make
me.
the question properly.
I
Sorry.
understand your question. I got your question. Okay.
I think
So I
Hitesh,
choose now Europe here. You can see here. See availability zone. Let me just explain in Paint. Okay, that gives you a better idea. Also, it helps you for certification or exam. See, this is your S3 bucket, right? Yes or no, Revati? So this is
Yes,
your
yes,
S3.
yes.
Let's understand. Okay. And S3 bucket is there inside where? Inside your AWS. Let me explain. So everyone will be under same page. So this is under AWS. And we can access this AWS from different availability zones. Okay, 1 minute. Let me write it better. Okay, S3 bucket. And you have all that buckets information under bucket some BUC bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket enough, bucket 3, blah blah blah. You might have how many other buckets you want under this. That's the idea. Now you are trying to, by default, this is connected to availability zone. What is that availability zone? Maybe if you can just keep answering, it's easy for you to get a quick understanding. What is that? It is the Mumbai, right? So this is the region and it has something. What is that? AP hyphen South hyphen 1. Is that clear? Likewise, there are many availability zones like Europe, like something like Stockholm or something, right? EU North 1. EU hyphen North hyphen 1 something, blah, blah, blah. You have so many here. If you just expand this, you can see all this, right? And if you want, you can add all that in the PPT here. Now, the simple thing is you might have so many availability zones, I'll just put it as avail 3, avail 4, assume that it has something, avail 5, blah, blah, blah. Likewise, so many are there. Now the question is simple. Your question is, by default, this is connected to availability zone, which one?
Mumbai.
Mumbai, okay? I'm just erasing, okay? We'll get back. So this is Mumbai. MUNBAI, okay? It's clear, right? So now default, this S3 is connected through which availability zone? It is located in which region? Mumbai S3. Okay. So now what did I do to connect the CLI? What parameter I am passing here? I am passing first two are same. Access key ID, secret access key is same. And then availability zone, which one I choose now? I told you to choose something which is by default in the AWS account. Now it is picking up Mumbai. Now if it is Mumbai, it shows what is the availability zone for Mumbai. It is AP South 1. So Mumbai is the region and AP South 1 is the availability zone. So I set it and then I just updated that. Till this it's clear for you, Revati? Now,
Yeah, perfect.
yeah, that is what happened. And by default, AWS account chooses availability zone based on the algorithm it has internally. So now it chooses Mumbai, but choosing Mumbai is always best for us too. Why? Because for me,
For this speed.
Mumbai is the nearest location. You got that? Is that clear?
Yeah.
Now you
Right.
have other regions as well. Suppose one of Sham asked me a question. I believe I answered his question as well. Then what is the question? Suppose I want to set this EU, Europe and some EU North one. Can I do that? Yes, you can do that. See, it's about this A3, this S3 is in AWS account. Now we can access this S3 buckets from any of these availability zones or any of these regions, right? You got it? So by default, it will be set to some region. If you want, this is important point. You can overwrite that. Understood? You can overwrite that.
Yeah, got it. So the performance is going to be little bit different, but apart from that, we can able to access from the any
Yeah,
location.
correct. Only the latency. We can use the performance or latency. Generally, technically, they use the word latency. But for
Okay.
the kind of learning we do, we don't have big impact, Revati. Because see, it's for large operations. When you do a real-time operation on huge data, then we have to talk about that latency problem. You got it right?
Yeah, that's right.
For the kind of one file, one bucket, two bucket, three buckets, I don't think there will be much impact. Still again, if you ask me, definitely there will be a slight latency in milliseconds or microseconds. You got it right? So what did we do right now? So if you want, you can overwrite that. So suppose you want to choose some other location. So either you can overwrite from here itself, like you can go to the window. Suppose I want to connect it from Virginia. I can choose this.
And sir, I have one question, sir.
Yes, please.
For suppose we are today we are created buckets and we started our in Mumbai location, Mumbai region. Okay.
Okay.
In tomorrow, after 2 months later, some new branch as they introduced the Hyderabad.
Okay. Then you have to
So
update to Hyderabad.
can we update the all that S3 buckets to Hyderabad? Then entire data will switch to Hyderabad.
We don't update S3 buckets, but you modify your CLI configuration. You got
Only
it?
config. Yeah.
Because the configuration has to change. S3 we don't have a control, right? Because it's actually kind of setup. I mean infrastructure mechanism.
Okay.
You understand that, Sham?
Yes.
See, it's all about again. Let me get into that detailing. It's about this Amazon people how they were building that infrastructure. That I don't think we can control. But what we can control, you have to suppose after 2 months, you told right, you have changed that region to some other location. Then again change your config parameters.
Okay.
Right? As a DevOps engineer, that's what generally we do. Okay. So
Yes.
I don't think we changed something here on S3.
Directly we can change our configuration.
Definitely. Where is the control you have? Which one you are controlling? Are you controlling AWS infrastructure? Are you controlling your configuration? That is the first question. So when you have control on configuration, then for sure you have to change the configuration, not the infrastructure.
Yeah.
Infrastructure is beyond your control. Unless, okay, of course, as an administrator, whatever you can do, you can do. But there are certain things which is not in your control. So best practice is, what is the best practice?
Configuration modification is the best.
Definitely you have to change configuration. Maybe you can ask the same question. Meanwhile, you can also ask same question to ChatGPT. Let's see what ChatGPT says.
I got a question at the last in the comment prompt. the AWS is not recognized.
You can
Why
share.
we got the
Yeah, please share your screen and okay, I'll explain that. Okay, I can help you to fix your issue. Yeah. After this, again we will move forward little bit with our topic. Okay. So this is how you have to connect it to CLI, friends. CLI connection established. I mean, connection establishment is completed. Are you clear? All of you are fine with this?
Yes, sir. Then
Yes, sir.
I have one question here.
Yeah.
To get the
I'll
user
take it
ID
up.
account ARN, you are using that command AWS STS. STS means?
You mean the abbreviation part?
No, sir. Only you are mentioning that AWS space STS.
See,
Na?
this command purpose is to validate your AWS configuration, whoever it is. I didn't see the name there. Okay.
Okay.
Who is
Okay.
it?
Sham,
Sham
sir.
again.
Yes,
Again,
sir. To
Sham.
remember the
Sham.
commands is
I,
quite
I
difficult.
explained clearly each step. Okay, the first step. Let me just quickly recap. This is for configuring your CLI with AWS account. Is that clear? Command
Yes, sir.
AWS configure.
That's okay.
Second
You can.
step, configure list is to see if all your input parameters are set properly. It will give you a list of all that configuration file. You got it?
Yes, sir.
Next, 3. Suppose I want to validate if that configuration is properly added or not, then I use this STS command. This is for validation, Sham.
Okay. Okay.
Abbreviation, you just type in ChatGPT or Google,
Sure.
you get the
Sure.
abbreviation. Okay.
Sure. Sure.
So,
Sure, sir.
and now, yeah, Revati, can you share your screen?
I'm still yet to into that configuration. I'm in the middle of it. But
Then,
I got clarified the answer because it's a typo. That's why it shows us
okay,
it's
then
not recognized. So I didn't notice that. I was guessing because of the north, it shows that I was guessing that. Then I realized, okay, this was the typo.
yeah, finally, I think now you have overall picture, right? Whether you should stick to a particular region or you can change it if it works or not. All your questions are clarified, right?
Yeah, perfectly,
Yes,
100%.
sir.
Okay, and also you got some little bit more information about access of availability zones and the infrastructure part inside AWS. All that is clear, right?
Yeah, it's very clear now. Yeah, because now I got it. Why it's all about the different location, as you mentioned. It's all about the latency.
No,
But
it's not
when
like
we
I mentioned, Revati. It's about what AWS people say.
yeah,
Okay.
it's AWS. Yeah.
Okay, we are just only sharing that information. Yeah, definitely. Understood now?
Yeah, clear. Thank you so much.
Okay, this is finally I try to access S3 buckets from command line prompt. Okay, command line interface. Am I able to see my buckets or not? So these are all my buckets in S3 and I am able to see those buckets from command line interface. So this proves that our configuration with AWS to command line interface is successful. Okay, understood now? So now what we can do, we can test couple of S3 commands. Suppose I want to see some bucket. I want to check some information in some bucket. Okay, then what I can do, S3 colon double slash. This is the how you have to get that S3 information, right? Or bucket information. Now I want to list all files under some bucket. Suppose 2025. Okay, so then what I can do, I can just choose this. Okay, paste it here and then press enter. If there are files, it will show us. You can see that is it showing all the files under this bucket or not. So this is a command to list out files inside a bucket. Okay. Next after that, let me just show you some commands so that you can also practice. Anyhow, all these are there in the PPT. You can work with them. And I made everything very clear. I just only need to add a couple of this thing. So you can work on that. So this is about listing files inside a bucket. You can see here. And that command I tested now. And all of you have observed this, right? Next one after this. Another S3 command. Now you are also learning not just all this IAM and also EC2, but you are also getting a deeper understanding of S3 as well. Okay. I mean S3 storage, creating buckets and then viewing buckets, listing out buckets information. Okay, all that stuff. And similarly, downloading a file. Suppose I want to download some file from AWS to the local environment. Then what can I do? I can just try this. You can see here. So I'll explain this command first. Okay, AWS S3 is default command. And then CP is the command which is used to download a file from where this is the source. What is that? The source is this one. The first, whatever the first part is here, that is the source. And second part, destination, to which location you should download that file. So that you can change. It's not like it should be C users admin. Okay, it can be anything in your local machine. Any location in your local machine that you can change it. If you want, I'll change and show it to you as well. And this one, this is by default in your AWS S3 location. You can see S3 and then that bucket name and then that file information. Okay, so what you have to do, you can simply copy this command. Okay, and what you can do is you can come to the command prompt and then just run this. Okay, and you can see downloaded into C users admin. Okay, so I can go and check there. Where should I check now? I should go to C drive and then users and then admin. Sorry, I go to public and then admin. And you can see sample report in the very beginning itself. Yes, sir. No. Is it downloaded? Now you can open sample report if you want and see what is that. That's it. And it is downloaded today itself. Today? No, this is not. And again, I think this is wrong validation. This is downloaded on 410. Say date modified. It has to be downloaded on 1110, right?
At last.
410. Yeah, this is downloaded on 410, not on 1110, right?
Mm.
So means it's not coming here, but it is showing it is downloaded. Let me check. C admin sample report.txt. Okay, I'll do one thing. Let me change the location. That would be easy for me. I am trying to save into this location. Okay, D drive. Let me go to D drive. Gnome tech. And then DevOps AWS. This location I choose. And then I'm removing. Already we have a report. I'm removing that report. I think by default it is giving that 410 only. It's downloaded. Might be just a minute. Let me see when this file created here. This file here is created on October 4th. Might be it is giving the timestamp of that one. Is that clear now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes, it got downloaded, friends. Again, this is how to validate. So because I do all this every day, right? So I am trying to look for multiple details. If you observe, I am not just doing like a say like suppose if I see the file, I didn't just felt happy. You got it? You can see how I am trying to get information, validate information, because that's what we do every day, friends. Even though the report is there, I am just checking the timestamp here. What is the latest timestamp? And I didn't confirm that this is the downloaded one. Still, I have it out. Then what did I do? Again, I have to go. I did go to the AWS account and I did check the timestamp created for this. And now I realized, okay, this is using the existing timestamp in the AWS, and same thing is shown in my machine. Are you clear with that? So as a DevOps and as a automation engineer, I do these many checks when I work on something. You understand? So and I am not trying to cover it up again. Maybe you don't think that. I'm only trying to make you that these checks are important. So that's what needed in real time. Understood now? Now next. Okay, let me do one thing just to make sure to again, suppose I want to make sure that it is downloading same file. What I do, I change location and test it. That's how I do generally. So the testing process, if you want to get that validation properly, change the location. Okay. Now I am trying to download the same file to which location, which this D drive, Gnome Tech and DevOps AWS. And under that, we don't have any sample report file. So let me run it now. You can see this. Okay, it's downloaded. Now I want to check if it is there or not. Okay, if it is, you can see that that report is downloaded. Now it is a clear proof. The timestamp is coming from where? It is coming from AWS, from here. Okay. Generally, when you create new files, it creates a timestamp with the latest date. So that's why I was checking for that. Understand now? So that's the idea, friends. You can see for AWS, this one I updated today, it changed the timestamp. But for this, it is having a different timestamp. So this is also important when you are working in some kind of this thing, infra management. So next topic. What is next topic now? This is all about connecting to CLI and then working with S3 commands. I'll show you a few more S3 commands so that that helps you for validation and all that. Okay. So this is all completed, I believe. Okay. 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 Let's try these commands now. Let's do test few more commands. Suppose I want to list bucket. You know how to do that now. Yes or no? Right? I want to download something from a bucket. We did that. We did that from AWS to your local machine. Suppose opposite process. I want to upload a file from local location to local machine to the AWS bucket. Or I want to upload multiple files from local location to the AWS file. Right? So then what do you do there? And also one more command. Suppose I want to list, suppose I have multiple files in a bucket. I want to list all those buckets in my command prompt. Then what is that I have to do? Recursive command is very helpful. People ask this in interview. So how do you fetch multiple files? Because I see that my colleague always has this command. I mean, she keeps on asking OS commands. I mean, Linux OS commands. All these are whatever you are seeing is almost applicable even in Linux also. Same thing we are applying on S3 buckets. Are you following, friends? So this recursive helps you to fetch all that information, subfolders and all other files in that bucket. As when you say recursive means, what is the meaning of recursive? Recursively fetch subfolders and files from that bucket. Did I make it clear for all of you, friends? Can I get an yes or no from you? Okay. Any yes or no from you will be helpful. So now what do you do? Let's run it now. So if this bucket is there, right? Yeah, let's run it. You can see here, these are all there inside that bucket. When I say recursive, you can see. Maybe if you want, you can go and check there, right? To validate it, under that, which bucket is this? Nomi, my Nomi user bucket one. You can go and check there under buckets. My Nomi user one bucket. Now you can see all that files are there. That backup thing, all that is there. So that proves that it is able to fetch subfolders and files inside that bucket. Is that clear for all of you, friends? Now let's move to the. So this is the idea. Next. Okay, clear the screen. Another command. I'm just showing you how to play around other commands. This is upload an entire folder. Suppose I want to upload a folder from local machine to AWS bucket. So what I do is, again, for downloading or uploading, command is CP command only, copy command. CP means copy. But source and destination changes. What changes? Source and destination. I'll just explain this clearly so that it's easy for you. And if you want to upload the whole folder into the to or from into the bucket, okay, so then you have to use recursive. Just keep that in mind, right? If you want to upload the entire folder, including subfolders, files, everything, right, inside that folder, then you have to use recursive. Okay, so now come here, don't run it. Okay, so you can see now I just uploaded this for testing purpose. So copy is same. Now this time the source is from local machine. You can see C users admin, that itself shows it is local. and destination is AWS. How do I know it is AWS? It's clearly showing S3 colon means always AWS. Understood now? So what I want to do, I just choose some other, already I uploaded this .aws. I just choose something under admin, okay? So, or if not admin, you can copy from anything else from your, some other disk as well, D drive or E drive or anywhere. Okay. So C drive, admin, but don't try to upload too many folders because right, we will be charged. Just be cautious on that part. C users, admin, and I just want to upload some simple file. Okay. What files? I'll upload this, just Conda. Okay, I want to upload this whole folder into the AWS account. Then what is that? If it has one file, it will upload all that one file. If it is having 10 files, it will upload all the 10 files. And if .conda has subfolders, even that subfolders are also uploaded into that AWS bucket. Is that clear? Right? Did I make it clear, friends? Okay, so what I do, just instead of AWS instead of .aws, I put here what is that .conda. Okay, now press enter. Now what is happening? From source, from my local machine, I am uploading this folder .conda into the AWS bucket, that is Nomi user 1 bucket, user bucket 1. Enter. Yeah, perfect. Upload successful. You can see that statement is visible. Now you can go and check in the AWS account. Now go to this Nomi user bucket and then you should see a conda. What is that? That .conda folder inside this bucket. You can see here. Where is it? I'm not seeing them. .conda my Nomi user bucket 1. My Nomi user bucket 1. It should be here actually. Okay, I got it now. You can see here. This is the one, it is coming from that. Got it right? Inside Conda, see it uploaded just that file here from this. You can see environments. You got it right? That is uploaded. File is uploaded. Environments.txt. Suppose I want that whole file itself. So then what is that I should do? Recursive, same thing should be same. This should be fine. Hyphen recursive is fine. But what I want is, I want that even the folder as well. In such case, I think we can apply sync command. What command? I tried this. This is just a minute. I think we can use sync command. Not this.
Below we have. Yeah, this above slide.
Yeah, this one. Uploading everything in a folder. You got it right? So this is the sync. Let's try sync because I tried to upload folder. Right. Of course, subfolder definitely recursive will do that. Now, if I use admin, what happened? Admin has so much of information. I don't want that all that in my AWS. You can see, right? So what I do now, I just limit it to only some specific thing. So instead of CPE, let me just try sync. Enter. And when you are using sync, we can remove recursive. Okay. And then now run this now. Yeah, this should be perfect. So, and here, yeah, this is source and backup is created by me there. Let me go and test it. If it is pushed, Conda is pushed here. No, it's copying the files. I got this now. So what is that you can do? If you want that here, simply you can just add that folder name directly here. Okay, if you want it, either you have to choose from admin. Okay, I'll just show you that how to get it. Suppose instead of, because I don't want to upload everything from admin, let me just show you another thing. Okay, instead of that, this many we don't want. It is too many, it becomes heavy in the AWS account. So I will do one thing. Let's do one thing. Let's not waste time. Better, I'll go to D drive. Okay, and then my tech folder, and then this is E drive. D drive, tech. Let me create a simple folder under this thing. Okay, just to show you recursive thing how it works. Some test. Okay, and then I'm just using same sample report under test and pasting here. Now copy this AWS path. Come here. Just want you to get that clear idea. Like, it also recursive is not just only to copy files, it's also used for copying subfolders and files in a directory. And then paste it here. Now, oh, sorry. If we are using recursive, then which command should we apply here? We have to apply copy. Now run it. Now you can see that. Now, yeah, we try to upload multiple things from that DevOps AWS account. Now you can go and check that subfolder is also copied now. Refresh it. Okay. Now you can see here, right? So what is the subfolder I created? We should also have test here. You can see here. Can you see the test? And inside that sample report is also there. This is how recursive works, friends. You get it now? Recursive is, suppose there is a directory. In that directory, all that files and subfolders, right? And they again files and files from the subfolders are, and again still some recursive directories, subdirectories, all that if you want to copy, then we should apply this hyphen recursive. I hope this is clear now. Okay. Again, sync and this recursive is a bit almost similar. Suppose if you want to upload everything from a folder, right? We apply sync. Let us do one thing. Let us just check this. You can just copy the command again. Copy this. Let us test this too. Already that is there. I think we can skip it. Okay. So what kind of files it copied? It copied one is sample report and something like PPT. Okay. I'll do one thing. I'll change my bucket now instead of my nomi user one, because again I'll delete it because this is only for demo purpose or testing purpose. Now go to the buckets. Okay. And this time choose nomi user bucket 2, because let's see what is there inside bucket 2. Just only one file. So what I do is, so here my bucket name, I change it to bucket 2. My nomi user bucket 2. And if you want backup, you put backup. Else you can just remove that backup folder. By default, it will be directly placing that files into this bucket. Now we are applying sync command here, you see. So what is that it is doing? You can go and check now. Okay. So then you get the difference. Again, you might have a question. What is the difference between sync and copy recursive? So this run is going to give you a clear idea. Okay. Go and check here. Run it now. Refresh it. And then see here. Almost both are almost same. You can see here. Even this is also fetching all the files. And test folder is also added. You can see. But I just have a quick doubt is what is difference between generally I explore more on this sync and CP recursive hyphen recursive. That is the question I have now, okay? Because both are almost doing the same activity. Generally, it doesn't take this much time. All right. I'll refresh. Seems like usually it doesn't. This is a very simple question. Refresh. My limit is over or something it is saying. Okay. What is difference between and CP hyphen recursive in AWS S3? Okay, this is the difference. You can see here. Got it right? Does not check if files already exist at the destination. It just copies everything again. It's like it's a rework. But this guy sync, what it is doing? Compares files based on size and modification time. Only copies that are new or changed. Understood now? So finally, for best practice, right? So because I am a DevOps engineer, right? I look for the best practice. What is the for best practice? Which command do you choose? I think I can add this to the which one to the notepad as well. I'll do that. I'll add to the document later. So finally, a question to all of you now. What is the best practice, friends? Should I use which one now? Should I use this sync command or sync? Definitely sync. See, so this is how you have to just keep checking when you are in work in a automation environment or DevOps environment or anywhere. Okay, so hope this helps you. So generally, I keep on doing that because because my as a senior DevOps engineer, what I do is when I do automation, I don't just satisfy with the output. I see that how much code I can reduce, and also with less code, how much output I am going to get. This I generally see a lot. Understood, right? So, and I see because I am someone who find lot of gaps in our process, and we try and automate it. Mostly, my mind is always looking for always automation, not a manual. I don't prefer manual work. Okay. So that's how right now my mind is. Next. Finally, this is good. I think I like this particular thing, what we did analyzed. Next after that. So this is done and this should be fine. These are all most of the commands on S3 and this is one more. What is that? Deleting a file. So to delete, see again, this Linux commands and commands we apply on S3 buckets are almost similar. Okay, just keep that in mind. So next, this is another famous question my colleague keeps asking. Suppose if you have these many files, how do you remove all files? Removing all files, again, we have to apply what? We don't just apply RM command. Remove means RM is for removing some file, one or just a file. Suppose if I want to remove all files, again, I have to apply what? You can see here, recursive. So this question I keep hearing because both are panelists. Okay, she generally asks those questions. Okay. Now let me just try to delete something. What is that I delete? I don't know if this bucket have test. Yes, test is there. Test.txt is there. It is removed. Maybe you can go and check there. Inside this bucket, what is that? What bucket I am removing? Nom user bucket one. Just that's all. This is how you have to play around, friends. Just do something in the command line and go and verify in the S3 buckets. So and see if it is there or not. Okay. So that test file here somewhere it is removed. Suppose if you want to see another example, just remove environments.txt. Environments.txt. Okay. I'm trying to remove this and that is deleted. And now we can go here. Right now you can see when I refresh this text file should be removed. Just refresh it. This environment txt we should not see that. And we are not seeing it. Okay. That's it. That's the idea. Suppose I want to remove everything from this particular folder or from the bucket itself. I don't want anything in this bucket. I want to remove everything. Then what is that I should do? So I have to apply what is that hyphen recursive. It's okay. We don't have problem. Recursive. Right. I have a typo. Enter. Let's see if it removes everything from this bucket. Perfecto. You can see that. It removed everything and you can see the out. Now you can go and check in this one. Perfect, right? So the advantage is I don't need to get into that AWS account every time and then okay, go to that S3 and then do all that. See, this is clean now. Just I have only bucket, empty bucket. Everything is removed just like that. Okay, that is how it works. Okay, finally, that's about deleting. What is that, friends? Files from S3 buckets. Okay, how to delete a single file and how to delete all files inside a bucket. So this should give a clear idea. Next, finally, creating new bucket from command line. It's very simple. What is that? Let's create one bucket. Okay, if you want to create a bucket from a command line, what is that you have to do? This is the command we use. And that command is simple to understand. MB instance, make a bucket. And that is already there. It's like we are trying to create duplicate bucket. That's why this error is. You can see bucket already exists. Right. So what do you do right now? I have my new test 2. I put it as test 2. And also you can see you are choosing region here. Suppose if I don't choose region, will it create a bucket or not? Let's see that. Failed. What is that? It is saying another error. Oh, this is also there. When it is there. Okay, let's create one more. That is there, it's fine, no issues. Those many buckets, when did I create it? Okay. So bucket 1. Okay. My Nomi user bucket 1 is there, but my bucket 1, I don't think we have. My new test bucket, right? Let me just check. Yeah. Somebody, somebody can go mute, please. Okay. Now those are not there, but maybe reason should be because we missed region. It should be throwing error. I create a bucket now. My new bucket. Anywhere we don't have new bucket. General purpose buckets. Okay. Then why it's throwing error? Let me check it. So this here the command is simple. What is that? MB means make bucket. Simply speaking. Okay. Let us create in this availability zone. Okay. So region definitely this should point to Mumbai. Okay. So let's try. Let's use this and create it. If it works or not. Okay, but I don't see that here. Let me see other buckets. Otherwise, I don't have that. So General purpose buckets. Refresh. Okay, maybe I'll give different name. So bucket 1, bucket 2, if not given by me, some other user who is sharing AWS might be creating that. Okay, we can't see such buckets in our S3 location. So I'll do one thing. I put test my Nomi just to have a unique bucket name. So I'm providing unique bucket name, test bucket 1. Okay, this should be created for sure. You can see here. So the problem is not with the S3 buckets in my S3 account. What is the problem? Problem is with the S3 buckets created by some other user in this shared environment. You got it? Okay, because this will be used by millions and crores of people. And some X guy has created that bucket name. Okay. So we don't know who is that, and we cannot even see that in our S3 this thing. Okay, in our storage. So now if you refresh, we can see our bucket which is newly created. You can see that my name test bucket 1. Can you see that now? Suppose the test I want to do is I want to remove region and create one more. Okay. So will it create that? Yes, it created. Okay. And by here I choose AP South 1 and it said that. What is that? If I don't give region, default region, what is that it choose? For test 2, it choose Europe. You can see here. Can you see that? And it is saying that general purpose buckets can be stored anywhere in all AWS regions. Okay. So that is the overall idea, friends. So this is about creating buckets from CLI. And now another last command which I would like to test now is so what is that last command? Deleting a bucket from CLI. So same thing, instead of MB you have to say RB. Okay, the MB is nothing but making a bucket. RB is for removing bucket. You can see here. So you can just say this AWS S3 RB, whichever bucket you want, and then just choose this command force. What is that? Force. When you say force, automatically it removes everything. Subfolders, files, everything in that. Okay. So what I want to do is I just want to test it. It won't work. You don't need to worry. What is that I should do? Remove all this and then just start with the AWS S3. RB means remove bucket, and then I put bucket name, but this bucket is not there. I just removed while testing. I'll create it as a okay. Let it be my Nomi bucket 1. That should be fine. So here NAOMI. Okay, test bucket 1. I am removing this. Yeah, it's removed. Similarly, I want to remove bucket 2 as well. I don't need those many buckets. I'm removing that. Okay, just go and test it. Similarly, you can play around like whatever you want to do with your buckets and with your folders inside buckets, files inside your buckets, all that. Let them be there for our this thing purpose, So that's all about this one. Okay, deleting buckets. So I think by now you should have understood many things about S3 storage as well, like creating buckets, playing around those buckets, copying data, okay, removing data, all that, listing all that buckets information, everything. But what we do is we do this same thing with the Python automation, right? How to connect to this with the Python code and try to play around that, get information. All that. I'll show you one automation that will help you for your working purpose. You got it right? So, but not now. Down the line, I'll show you. Okay. Once you get overall, next tomorrow I'll go a little deep into the storage itself. So then I'll also show an automation if possible tomorrow or in next week. Okay. So next after this. So we did all this now. Finally, I'm moving to the next topic. Before I move, I am just stopping here, having a I'll just have a hard stop. What is that? Now, just want to ask, all of you are clear with whatever we have discussed with all these friends with the CLI integration?
Yes.
Is CLI integration clear for all of you? Right? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, friends. Thank you so much. So what do we do is now let's jump to the. So in this IAM, definitely we had a very detailed coverage. So if you look at the IAM thing, okay, your identity access management, okay. What else? What all we have covered here? We covered about creating users, attaching policies, creating customized policies, creating groups, attaching users and policies. Okay, creating inline policies. Okay, so much. Again, you asked questions. We played around those questions, like how to restrict access to buckets or how to view all that groups information. Okay, by default, it's not visible. We did something there. Okay, so much of learning. And now finally the role part. Okay, so if you understand role, everything under IAM is covered in depth. We have very deep coverage of everything under IAM, but still I don't say it's enough because everything has something to learn. Okay, but whatever the foundation needed with IAM, we did that. So now let's getting into the IAM. Yeah, someone please can you go mute? Go on mute. Okay, so now this is IAM. What is IAM? With all the knowledge you have on IAM, sorry, what is IAM role? So with all the knowledge, whatever you have right now, like creating the users, creating the groups, attaching policies. So generally, the standard way of creating, policies is are creating this thing is with the generally we create users and we attach policies to users. You get that? So let me explain this scenario so that you get a clear idea. Whatever we are doing, that role thing, just it's for temporary purpose. We don't just do it on a permanent purpose. Okay. So suppose in general, we create users. Okay. What do we do? This is the process. And we create groups and then what do we do now? So we attach users to groups, right? What do we do? And to these groups, we attach policies. What do? We attach policies to groups. Okay. Then what do we do? To this again, groups we attach users. This is what generally we follow when you do in real environment. When you work in some kind of environment. So you have users and you create groups and we attach policies, whatever policies needed for that group, for developer group or QA group or okay, admin group or DevOps group or there will be so many in a real environment. And we just attach users to the groups. Okay, automatically that user can have access for that group information. And we did all this, clear, right? We have already did this. Now we are just expanding a bit on this, that's all, or extending a bit on this. Then if you are already doing this, why again extra roles for us? I'll just show you that. This session, this next 30-minute session is going to be very, useful thing, okay? Okay, let's see that now. So what is role now? So this part we already did, right, friends? Yes, sir. So we have seen how to create users, how to create groups, and then attach policies, right? All that we had discussed. Now, going back to that now. IAM role. What is this IAM role? Simply speaking, this IAM role is nothing but it's a temporary identity. Are you following? What is it? It's a temporary identity that has specific permissions. But this is temporary, not permanent thing. Best example, I'll give a very real example so that it's easy for you to understand the concept of IAM role. Suppose you are an entrepreneur, okay, assume that you are a businessman and you have to deposit some money into the bank account. Okay. Every day you cannot go and deposit money into the bank account, right? Yes or no? Because you are a businessman, you are busy. Then what do you do? Just to deposit money, you send your assistant. Okay. You call him as cashier. What that or someone your trusted assistant. And what do? You ask him, suppose I say, Sham, can you deposit this money for me in the bank? And you will tell to the manager. So Sham is coming, he will deposit money, and then you ask him to go and deposit. Now today Sham is going to the bank and depositing money into the my account. I mean that businessman account. So that is nothing but that. So now what Sham is doing is a temporary job. Just to deposit, the role he is doing is deposit money. Understood? Tomorrow that businessman might use someone else for the same kind of thing or for some other purpose. Once that is done, Sham job is done, and I don't need Sham to do that anymore. So that role is temporarily done. That money deposit role is completed. Deposit role is done. Same thing. If you apply same even in our AWS, this IAM roles are same thing. This example should give you that idea. Understood now? What is this thing with Sham? How much time I need Sham for a temporary purpose? Once that deposit is done, my work with Sham is completed. So I don't meet Sham no more. I don't mean that in sense I am talking about the example, not in real life. Same thing we apply for roles in AWS. You got it right? There are certain scenarios where we need these roles temporarily and we create them, use them, and again delete them. Simple, right? Following friends. So the example should give you a clear picture. Now let us apply that into the practical implementation. So simply speaking, I don't want to go and confuse you. Simply speaking, what is an IAM role means? It's just a temporary identity given, and then once that is done, it is automatically revoked or deleted. Another best example for temporary identity is your office itself, organization. Suppose you are going to an interview to some company. What they do? They issue a temporary identity card. And what is the purpose of that? Until that interview is completed, you can get into the office, do the interview, come back, and again hand over that identity card. Even that is also similar to this. The purpose of that identity card is just for some specific period. Okay, same thing, roles are created even in AWS. Understood now? So finally, how to create and manage AWS. Let's get into the practical discussion now. Practical part. It's very simple. Again, practical part is simple. Nothing is difficult here. What is that? Let's say the scenario I took for today's demonstration is this. Let's say you want to allow an EC2 instance to access S3. Okay. I want to access S3 buckets using EC2 instance without storing access keys. Now, with all the background what we have in the last, this is 4th week. Okay. In the last 3.5 weeks so far, right? What do we do? Now you know what is access key. Just even today also we try to connect to CLI using access key. Without all this, without passwords, without access keys. Suppose I want to connect to some IAM account. I need username and password for that. You know that. Without all that, with having a role and attaching to EC2 instance, I can have access to S3 buckets directly. For that, we have to create a role, that's all. And without storing access keys here, we don't need that. Okay. And for that, what do you do right now? Is the scenario clear for all of you, friends? Scenario clear? Right. So I'll show you. I'll make sure that you get a deeper understanding of this. Perfect understanding. Now you'll create a role named. So we are going to create this role. Creating role, all this is simple. Just understand the process. That's all. And this is a built-in one. You are not doing anything here. So what is that you do? Just create a role name. This name you have to provide, but this you can choose it from the available policies. Right? That's all. Now next, this is done. This is the use case which we are going to build it. So what is that? We are going to take EC2 instance, create an EC2 instance and attach a policy to EC2 instance to access S3 directly without having any access keys or passwords or ABC. So for that, we have to create a temporary role. That role name is this one. This role name you can name as you like. Okay, it's up to you. Give some meaningful name. As name says, you can see EC2 instance is accessing S3. So we put that role name as EC2 S3 access role. And the steps are very simple. Don't think it is something difficult or all that. It's an interesting plus. It's very interesting too. Let's go to step 2. What are the steps you should follow? Very simple. I'll just show you. So what is that you do right now? I'll do two things for you. I'll do two things to give you a better understanding, a deeper understanding of this scenario. Suppose you do one thing. You just sign out this root account. No problem. If you want, we can sign in how many number of times we want, right? You can sign in back again as a fresh this thing. 1 minute. My phone is taken away. Just give me a second. I'll bring it back. Yeah, let's do that. Let me log into this root account again. And then password. Whatever you have, you just add that password to your account. And then I don't think you have multi-factor authentication. If you have it, just pass it. That's all. That code you have to pass from. Okay, let me just pass the code here. And then press. Okay, I think it got expired. Just wait. Our password should be wrong. Okay. Now let me sign in again. And then just pass MFA code. Now it's login. Now what do you have to do? Create a role now. Just step 1. What is step 1 here? Go to IAMS. Go to IAM in AWS console. Then what is that? Navigate to roles. And then under that you have create role option. You can create that. I'll just show you. It's just simple process. Okay. So what do you have to do? Where is IAM? This is IAM. Right now we are under IAM, identity and access management. Okay. So go to the roles. You don't need to do anything. Already I created one role, but I'll create one more. Okay. I created role, but I'll show you again. Okay. So create role. Simple. This is very simple. Just we need to follow that window navigation. That's all. Now you can see choose AWS service. Under that use case, you can create this for anything. You can see here there are different services, and this role we can create for whichever service you think is needed. Can you hear me, guys? Sorry, I think we had a power breakdown. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a power breakdown. Sorry for that. It's not in my control. Okay, let's continue. Shall I share my screen? We'll just see how to create that role. It's a very simple process, friends. Okay, we are discussing in this how to create that IAM role, and the purpose of that, all of you know that. So what do you do? Choose EC2, and then you can see there are different things. For now, you can just stay with this, friends. Just choose this EC2 under that use case, okay, and then choose this AWS service as EC2, and then click next. Okay, and then choose which one you want. Suppose AWS, you can choose S3. I created one role with full access. Okay, means read, write everything. You can also just test it with the S3 read only access. Just for creating purpose, what I do is I create this. Already we have a role created. For testing purpose, we can choose that as well, not an issue. So what do you do right now? I'm choosing read only access. Okay. So now I create next and then just say next. You got it right? What is that you should do? Just on that create role, when you just say next, you can see here the steps, right? Add permissions. You can see that there. So even you can go from the beginning as well. From this, just choose the service and then say next. Now, once you say next, here you have to attach policies. What is that you should do? S3. You can see here read only access. I'm choosing. You can choose whatever you want. That's up to you. Already I have one role created, so I am creating one more role just to show you how to do that. And I choose that and then say next. I added permission. You can see that in the list of steps you can see here. And then provide a name here. What is that name I can provide? I can use the almost similar name. So where is that? Just a minute. I can choose this EC2 S3 access role, right? I just add just a small this thing to it. Here, S3 access read only. Okay, hyphen role. This makes more sense, right? And then you can see allows EC2 instances to call right AWS services on your behalf. Now EC2 directly uses S2, you directly access this S3 without a user. Generally, user do that. But what we are doing, we are giving that role to EC2 directly, EC2 instance directly. Got it right? So next, you can see that the trusted entities, you can see this is a simple JSON file, which is a trust policy here. And you can just, right, what is that trust? We have a couple of parameters here. What is effect, what is action, and then service. Okay, next. Permissions you have added for this. Okay, for this role. And finally, what is that? Create role. That's all. This is how we create roles. But you should know the purpose and you should know how to test it. Okay. Now we have two roles. These are created by us, IAM roles, and these are these are default roles. We didn't create them. They are automatically provided by the AWS itself. So now let us test these two roles. Suppose what I do is now I am going and creating EC2 instance now. So go to the EC2 now. Just I'll show you first without attaching IAM policy to EC2. IAM role to EC2. Let us test it. Let us try to access S3 bucket and see if it is successful or not unsuccessful. And then we will do again. We attach IAM policy, IAM role, IAM role, and then we test it back. And you get the clear difference before attaching IAM role, after attaching IAM role, how that service is behaving. Okay, now what do you do? Go to the EC2 instance now. This testing is going to give a very clear understanding. And then click on instances. I just have one instance created. All my instances are removed. So I'm good. Okay. So that's okay, fine, no problem. Now, what is that? You do one thing. Launch instance. Remote instance, I just stopped all my instances. You can see there, right? So I am not running any of those instances. Just to show you, I create one more instance. Okay. Or else I can do one thing. Already I have instances in place, right? I can choose any of these two. I just use known test to just what I can do. I have to go to the action, instance state and then start instance. Let me run it. All of you know how to create instances, right, friends? Yes or no? All of you know,
Yes.
right? So then you come here and then choose any one of these. I stopped all my instances. So what did I do? I did go to the instance state and then I clicked on start instance. My instance is running now. It's good. And just see that all that status checks are completed. You can see 2 by 2. If you see 2 by 2, we are good with status checks. Okay, and then select this. And still it's initializing. It's okay. Let me try to connect to the EC2 instance. Okay. And for that, what is that? We did all this in 1 or 2 sessions. Completely, we focused on this only. Click on connect and then connect. Okay. Still, it's initializing. It's okay. When we refresh, it should work. Yeah, you can see that we connected to the AMI image. Now, I just would like to test my AWS S3-LS. I would like to access my AWS S3 account. I mean my storage account. So when I say what is that it is saying unable to locate credentials. You can configure credentials by running this. That anyhow we know how to do that. But now to this EC2, why it's showing this error here? Because we didn't attach any role to EC2 instance. So you can ask a question again. How do I know role is attached or not? Simple. Come here. Right? This is your EC2, right? You checked this, you selected this. So under that you have this all these details, right? So under details, if you go and check IAM role, you see that it is just empty. Means you didn't attach any role to this EC2. Then how come we expect that to access S3? Definitely we should see this error. Then what I am doing right now? Very simple. Right? So now go to actions. So I am attaching IAM role to this instance. What I am doing, attaching IAM roles to IAM role to this instance. Simple. How to do that? Go to the actions, security, modify IAM role. Okay. Shall I show you again? Shall I show one more time? How do you attach IAM role? We know how to create IAM role. All they are already readily available, or they are already in place. Now what is that we should do? To whichever service you want to attach IAM role, you choose that service. Now we are attaching role to EC2. So you come to that EC2, select that, and then actions, security, modify IAM role. And then when you come to this window, you can see here choose IAM role, expand this, you can see 2 user custom created roles. You can choose any one of these, it's up to you. Either this one or that one, you can test it, not an issue. Just attach that role. Now finally update IAM role. Perfect. Now you can scroll down to the bottom, you can see IAM role. Here you are seeing the IAM role for that instance Nomi test2. You got it right? Did I attach role to this EC2 instance? Yes, I can see that here. Now finally go to the this one. Now this time again run this after attaching role, run this command. Now you can see the difference now. Can I see the S3 buckets now under that instance? When I run that AWS S3 LS, you can see all the buckets listed here. But before attaching role, what is that it is saying? Unable to locate credentials, and it throw error, some error here. This is a clear proof that what is that? We can directly attach some role to a service, and then we can start using that whatever this thing we are attaching. You got it right now? And we can start using that service we attached. Here we are using S3 bucket as a service now, and that is assigned to EC2. Right? And how we are assigning through roles. But generally, do you think this is a best practice? That is my question for you. Now we are done. These are the steps we should follow for creating roles and then attaching to whichever service you want. You can do that attachment of a role to which, and you can choose what role you have to create for which services. Like, I created for S3, or you can choose for something else as well. Okay, that's it. And then attach it to service, whichever you want, you can choose. Now, question to you is this a best practice? Generally, what we do, we attach groups to users. Okay, what do? We attach policies to groups, processes. Already I explained. So what is that? If you remember, this is the config default it's showing. I'll talk about it later. We attach policies to groups. This is what we do. This is actually the proper steps. And these groups we attach to users. We attach groups to users. Are you following, friends? So this is what you should do. Right? And this is generally we follow when you are working in any real environments. Now I attached a role directly to EC2 is best practice. That's my question. You can check. You can see there is nothing wrong to ask ChatGPT because these are something which we explore. For learning purpose, I created one and I tested that. That's okay. We are good here. But attaching this S3 policy to user is a best practice, or to EC2 directly is a best practice.
EC2 is the best practice, but whenever the special permission or anything specific that we need, then we need this one.
So, okay, then you can just ask here because you are also seeing my window, right? So, which is best
different
practice?
user having different permissions, securities. That's why
Correct. That's okay, fine. But the question is simple. So, usually, what do? We attach policies to groups and then attach groups to users. That is the strategy we follow. Now, whatever we are doing, directly attaching a role to EC2 and testing is it a best practice? My question is simple. Or attaching to groups and providing it to users is the best practice. What is that? So you can just quickly ask this question here. Okay. Because I'm going for best practice. What is best practice? Attaching policy to groups and attaching to user, or attaching S3 role to EC2. This is the one I have a question. You can see this is important design question. You can see, right? Let's break down. So what is that? Attaching policies to IAM groups or users or S3 role to EC2 instance. You can see here. Recommended approach. For all obviously scenario, attaching to users plus groups for policies is the best thing. And finally, what it is saying here. Never put access keys directly. Okay. It gives something. Again, we have to read everything clearly. Okay. How it works. Okay, fine. Pros and cons. Okay, that is okay. IAM role attached. Just tell me which is best. I don't need this analysis. First, among these two, which is the best practice? Yeah, now you can see that. For EC2 instance, accessing S3, the best practice is attaching IAM role to EC2 instance. Okay, reason, secure, no static credentials, automatically rotated, designed for AWS services. So this is how you have to ask questions, friends. So maybe what if we attach to which one? Groups and attach to users. So this is another question I have generally. No, it's again going in a different direction. It's going more specific to my question.
Manoram, you were asking attaching role to the group.
No, not that. Which is the best practice, sir? Directly assigning a role to EC2 instead of assigning to group. You got it right. Generally, we do that same thing with so right. We attach that S3 role access to
attaching to the group.
Yeah, S3 full permission policy to groups, and then we attach to users, right? That's what I'm checking. You got it right. So okay, for now, I think I'll just explore more on this because it needs a bit of time and I have more questions coming. Okay. So that's how I explore. That's fine. It's okay. But whatever the top. Yeah, maybe you can also try on that.
Yeah, that is saying might be when coming to the user groups, policy can be attached, right? There is a role.
That is okay. See, again, it is seeing my questions as two different questions. Okay, it is not seeing it one question. So that is what I don't want that. I want a best practice. I'm looking for that. Understand?
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Right. Because generally, we are working on a very big bank. What we see is we don't just directly do something just for namesake. We do R&D on something and we see that which is best for us and then we go and implement that. That's how we generally do. You got it?
Yeah.
For you, ENY, okay, because you are in service. So even you also have to do that, Harish. Understood?
Yeah.
I don't know how Sham is doing. How you are doing, Sham?
From my side,
Yeah.
actually, just I need to keep the credentials. That is not in not
So,
completely depends on AWS services. I will keep in my local through AWS services Docker. I am accessing the JSON file and I'm logging that to user accounts.
Then if you are keeping credentials, again, you are going with user groups and policies, right?
No. Actually, just now I'm creating all the Bira tokens and login, username and passwords in my local file.
Okay.
I'm installing the Docker. Then I'm connecting Docker to my local machine with the help of AWS.
Okay.
So I'm generating one access key. Through that access key, I'm taking that
again,
user credentials.
See, again, simple, right? If you are using the scenario of access key, then what is the point here? Again, you are going through user.
Yeah.
You got it right?
Yeah.
The access key is created when? With today's discussion, you should remember, I think Revati specifically pointed out, right? So when you have a user, for that user, you create access keys. Means you are going with user groups and policies, Sham. That is the this thing, confirmation. Understood?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. So generally, my gut feeling is we go with the whatever you Sham, your team, your company is following. That is actually the standard process. But there are certain cases where we do this what we did today now, creating roles and doing that. But this process is temporary process. Got it? That is actually the general standard process people follow. What is that? Users, groups, policies. Okay, I'll check. Definitely, best policy should be that one only. Yeah, I'll explore and come back on maybe in the next session. That's not a big issue. But finally, the conclusion is: are you good with creating role? Are you good with attaching it to service? And are you good with testing? Are you clear with all that? For that is first thing. I hope you are good with all that, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll stop here. And tomorrow we come back and tomorrow what I do is with IAM, I think we are okay with whatever we did now. We'll try to explore more on S3. Okay. And then I go for this scaling thing. Okay. So the next topic in our list is in our bucket. Bucket, we call it as, yes, definitely we call bucket. Scaling and storage. We do this tomorrow. Right? We try to understand all this is done. Instance, EC2 instance types, placement groups. We did discuss all this. I think almost all we covered phase 2 also. You can see this. Don't you know, is it creating EC2 instances? You know about placement groups, all that. Okay. You know about creating S3 buckets, storage classes, versioning. I think I need to teach you guys. I'll talk about that. And also hands-on, creating an S3 bucket and enabling versioning. Even enabling versioning we did, but we need to test that versioning. Okay. That we see tomorrow. Okay. That's all for today. Any more questions?
No,
Harish,
sir.
you have a question, huh?
No. I'm thinking like Sham, because we are